My name is SpiderStaryu, and I welcome you to Spider Chat. And this is a brand new podcast series, also released on my YouTube channel, where I, Spider, talk all about gaming news, Nintendo games, and more. It's that time of year again. We're in the holiday season. Everyone's buying presents early to make sure they get the best present possible for their loved ones. And if you're looking for the hottest games to get this holiday season, you are in luck, my friend. Me and my co-host, Soul,
hello,
are going to share with you some of the most fun games available on the market. We're going to be talking about games for Nintendo Switch, Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo Wii U, along with some games to get on the 3DS and the Wii U Nintendo eShop. So we got you covered for the holidays. Alright, so how this is going to work is we're going to go through each console one by one, so it's not like a cluster of like different games all at once. So first we're going to go through Switch games, Nintendo Switch games. Me and my co-host Soul, we're going to talk a little bit about certain Switch games that we think are great and that will be good for you to get your loved ones this holiday season. So let's start with the first one. This one is a masterpiece. This one, everyone's talking about it. It's Super Mario Odyssey. Now, Soul, you played Super Mario Odyssey, right?
I did. I completed it.
You completed it?
I mean, I didn't like 100% it because I don't have that time, but I completed almost all of it.
All right, and that game came out in late October.
Mm-hmm.
It's for Nintendo Switch, and it basically is Mario and his little hat companion named Cappy, right?
Yes,
Cappy.
Cappy.
Want to make sure. Yeah, Mario and his hat friend Cappy are trying to save Princess Peach and Cappy's little sister, Tiara.
Yes.
What's her name? Tiara?
Yep, you got it right, Tiara.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember this stuff. So, Princess Peach and Tiara were kidnapped by Bowser, because Bowser wants to marry Peach. So, Mario and Cappy have to travel through many different kingdoms to get different power moons, to stop Bowser's minions from getting certain objects, and basically try to rescue Princess Peach and Tiara. So, Mario goes through many different kingdoms, collects power moons. There's many different ways to get power moons. Mario meets many different types of people, many different types of creatures in these kingdoms. And there's lots of clothes for Mario to dress up in. This game is just great because, let me tell you this. If you played Super Mario 64, if you played Super Mario Sunshine, if you played any of those 3D Mario adventure games, this game feels like all of that and more. It just feels like the ultimate Mario game. You know what I mean? And everyone has been buying this game. It's been critically acclaimed. Everyone, you check review sites, IGN, Game Informer, all those sites, everyone, it's just a natural reaction. Everyone has been enjoying it. And if you like that classic 3D Mario fun, that Super Mario game, those Super Mario fun games, this is the game to get. Now, Soul, other than this game, what are some other Switch games that are available for people to get? How about we talk about Splatoon 2? You know a lot about that.
I do know a lot about Splatoon 2. I got out of it for a quick second, and then because I was in Overwatch mode, and then I got back into Splatoon.
Right.
I really do like that game. I think it's pretty much a step up from Splatoon in almost every way. So I think it's I think it would be worth the buy. It has a much better first person mode. Oh my god, single player first person. The single player mode. I really do like its single player mode, and I love playing it back because in the single player mode, you can use all of the weapon classes in the game to play. And then go through every single level, even if the level wasn't made for that weapon. They'll make slight alterations if necessary for it to be possible, and I really like that because there are some really challenging levels that there are some levels that are relatively easy with one weapon, mainly the charger weapon levels that are extremely hard with other ones, and I like that sense of challenge. But past that, they've been very what's the word, dutiful. I can't think of the word, but they've been very attentive to keeping the game updated through the weeks since its release. They've had new maps. They're about to have in the first Splatoon, there was that big update where they added a lot of things. They're about to add another one where there's more hairstyles, more clothing, another weapon that is, I think it's called the Squeezer, because I believe it was actually found through hacking. So it's called a Squeezer or something. Obviously, they've been keeping up with the Splatfests. I'm happy, and I think they're going to be continuing it up all the way till the end of 2018 at the very least. So look forward to that. It's just very fun. I like the game.
Yeah, and how would you explain Splatoon 2 for people who have never even heard of Splatoon?
Oh God, it's basically like a third-person shooter instead of aiming to destroy your opponents, at least for the main part of the game, your goal is to cover the turf or the ground with as much as your bullets, your fire as possible, which is ink, and you can swim through the ink for fast travel and better like invisibility, I guess, like stealth.
Yes.
But the problem is that's in turf war, and then there's also ranked battle. And there's also ranked battle, and that would be more for aiming to destroy your opponents. But there's also like a common goal, like there's capture the flag.
Modes.
Yes. And there's another mode for it that's coming out. I don't know what it's called, nor really what it is actually entailing. I believe it had something to do with horseshoe crabs, and that's all I can remember.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is a game that everyone's playing as well. That game's very popular for online play.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so if you're looking for games to play with other people, maybe your friends in real life, or maybe friends on the internet, this is a great game to get. So Splatoon 2 gets a big thumbs up, and I totally recommend it. So recommends it as well.
Yeah.
All right, next game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yes.
Now, you're probably thinking, with Mario Kart 8, like, wait, I have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. If you have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, this version on the Switch is a big update, is a big step up. Now, with this game, the battle mode is very much different. Now, we know about racing. We know Mario Kart is for racing. We know people race, and that's what people mainly do. But we also know people like having some fun, like throwing some shells and things like that. They like playing in the battle mode. Well, this battle mode is a lot different than Mario Kart 8's battle mode for the Wii U. It's a lot different. They have many different modes to choose from. There's Balloon Battle.
Yes.
There's Shine Thief, where you have to get one. There's one Shine Sprite on the map, and 12 people are going for it at once. So 12 people are competing for one Shine Sprite. It's hectic and it's fun. There is Coin Runners, where you have to get the most coins. Pretty straightforward.
Right.
And there's Bomb Battle, which is like Balloon Battle, but with just bombs. So you can hold as much as 10 bombs, and you're just throwing bombs like crazy to try to get the most points. So very much like Balloon Battle, but with just bombs. And then the final mode, which is completely new to the Mario Kart series completely, Renegade Roundup, which is basically like cops and robbers, where if you're on the cop side, you have to try to get the robbers. You know you're a cop because you'll have a little piranha plant on your cart, so you have to just eat them up. The piranha plant eats them up, and if they eat them up, then they're in jail. For them to get out of the jail, the robber has to come and touch the switch, and the way the cops win is if all the robbers get caught, and the way the robbers win if at least one robber is left standing by the time is up. So it has many different battle modes. I just mentioned them all. Very fun. Very different from Mario Kart Wii U's battle mode. So it's actually a big step up. A very big step up. So all the DLC also is already installed in the game. So you have the Bell Cup, the Leaf Cup, the Triforce Cup. All that stuff is already pre-installed in the game. So there's no rebuying all that stuff. So, if you're a fan of Mario Kart, this is a good game to get. If you already have it on the Wii U, it's still something I would recommend because this game, just like Splatoon, has a really big online scene. Everyone's playing it online. There's tons of people to play with if you're trying to look for a race, and there's tons of people to play with if you're trying to look for a battle. There's many different ways to play, many different battles. There's 200cc. That's also brought back in this game. So, why not consider Mario Kart 8? So, what is some opinions you have about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Okay. I remember, I think I only bought the game because it's like, I have this Nintendo Switch and I have nothing to play on it. I had Breath of the Wild, but after that, I was like really bored and I wanted another game, so I bought it. And I actually do find myself going back to it like every once in a while because everything is pretty much unlocked. You don't have to worry about... I think the vehicle parts you still need to unlock. But other than that, everything's pretty much unlocked. So I always find myself just going back to it because I... It's really good, especially when you play it as much Mario Kart as me and probably you, of course. It's almost like mindless fun. You don't really have to think about it. You just have to get back into it. Online mode is pretty poppin' still. I like that game a lot.
Yes, so we definitely recommend that for the holiday season. You have to have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Next game is Puyo Puyo Tetris. Now, unfortunately, Soul doesn't have anything to say about this.
Yeah, literally, I know nothing about this.
He doesn't really like Tetris. So this game is, I recommend for people who like puzzle games. You know what I mean? If you're into puzzle games, if you love Tetris growing up as a kid, well, this is like that. So you can play Tetris, just Tetris, but there's also a new mode with Puyo Puyo. Now, Puyo Puyo is a Japanese game. That game has been in Japan for a long time, since the 90s. There have been different types of Puyo games released in Japan, where it's like you connect 4 blobs. To erase the blobs, you have to make 4 of them combined, the same color. So 4 yellows combined, then they disappear. So that's how you make the Puyo disappear. You can make them chain. You can make chains. So make yellow, red, different parts. Make sure as long as it drops down for 4 to connect, that's a chain, and you can do that. And it might be a little bit confusing at first because it's not like Tetris at all. But you know, if you like puzzle games, it's easy to get into. So, and there's many different characters to choose from the Puyo series. There's even new characters. So, if you've heard about Puyo before, you already know what it's about. I recommend it. If you don't really know what it's about, the game has tutorials so that you'll be able to understand how Puyo works. And they'll explain it better than I can. So, if you like puzzle games, if your child likes puzzle games, this is a great game to get them for Christmas. It's so much fun. And this game also has an online scene as well. Now, being honest, because I don't fake anything, the online scene is not as big as Splatoon 2 or big as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But it's still definitely there. So if you want to play with people online, with your friends, or with random people, you can totally do that, and it is an option. There's a story mode as well, which was pretty lengthy. So there's lots of things you can do that are very fun with this game. So if you like puzzle games, this is the game to get this holiday season. Okay, the next game is ARMS. Now, a little flip-flop here. Soul actually knows more about ARMS than me.
I didn't think you were going to talk about this.
Should we not mention it?
No, we can, because this is like, I don't want to admit what I've done with ARMS.
Well, Soul, you know what? You might have to admit the truth, alright? So Soul's gonna talk a little bit about ARMS, in his opinion.
Okay. Splatoon has Splatoon has a pretty good single player, and there's like a lot to it. ARMS does not, and that's okay, I guess. And it's online, but it's just a very bare bones game. There's not much to it, and I know its competitive scene, while small, is like, you know, heavily competitive. But I played it for 2 weeks and then sold it. I thought it was like an interesting game. I just think there needed to be more with it because it's a fighting game, and unfortunately I don't like a lot of fighting games. I can like acknowledge when a game is good and just not like it, and unfortunately I think ARMS is like that. You know, it's basically like, it's like Punch-Out but stretchy and without the computer player. Like, you're not facing Bald Bull, you're facing another player who has the same 2 attacks as you do, just they might have different traits on each hand, or arms that work in different ways. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. And then there's certain each of the characters have like a few abilities they can do too, but like, I couldn't get into it. It's not a bad game, it's just not the game for me.
Now, what Soul's saying is that he's just saying that it wasn't really for him, but it doesn't mean it's not a good game.
Yeah.
So, if you like punching games, where you want to punch people out, and there's still online play, this is a good game for you to get. And there's different characters to choose from, and I hear they're going to be adding more characters. Soul?
Yeah, they added one, they're adding it, and then they're adding another, and supposedly there's like 3 more coming.
Alright, so you see, right there. And I'm just claiming this so that it's like on record. I already knew Soul did not have the best time with this game, but he's played it before, so he's just giving you his 2-piece about the game. You totally might enjoy it. There's lots of people enjoying it. 2-piece and a biscuit, yes. So you totally might enjoy it. That's why it's on the list. It's very popular now, and there is an online scene for it as well. We know people love online games. I know with Nintendo fans, you know, if you don't have people to play with in real life, the online play really makes up for a lot of those things. So that's why it's a good game to get. So, consider ARMS.
If you do like competitive fighting games, I was part of it, and then I just dropped it because I realized I don't like it anymore. But I believe if you go onto the ARMS Reddit, they have a link to the ARMS Discord, and that Discord is very much like, I mean, it's like an underground competitive scene. They have like their own ranking. If you do like competitive games, you really should check out the competitive scene for that, because it is like, well, despite being it's not huge. I think there were like 300 people in that Discord, which isn't much, and obviously it's not like the official ranking, but they have like ranked players and stuff like that. You would like it. It's just not the game for me. It's not the type of... I don't like fighting games that much, so...
That's Soul. Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Keeping it real with Soul. Mondays at 8 p.m.
Oh my god. Next game is a game that we both have not played, but we've heard many good things about. It is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Now, from what I've seen about this game... Now, Soul, correct me if I say anything wrong. Mm-hmm. With this game, it's kind of like a strategy game?
Yes, it is a strategy game.
I would say maybe compare it to Fire Emblem, maybe?
I'm literally searching it up right now. There's a game that it's basically, like, its formula is completely not taken from, because I believe Ubisoft has the rights to it or whatever, but I'm searching it right now.
Alright, what's the game called?
XCOM?
XCOM. When did that come out? What console?
Oh, hold on, I couldn't tell you that. Well, I haven't played it. XCOM is a game that, its first game in the series was released in 1994.
Oh, for the Super Nintendo, Genesis?
I'm searching that up now. It looks like there was a sequel that came out on, like, mobile and different games. XCOM. The first one came out on PC.
PC. Oh, okay.
Yes, and no, PlayStation, Windows. I haven't even heard of these. Something called an Amiga.
Amiga. Oh, Amiga. It was a Spanish computer system, I believe.
Wow.
That originated in Latin America. I believe. I don't really know. But I definitely heard of that. So yeah. About Mario plus Rabbids. Back to that.
Yes.
The game basically takes Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and their counterparts, I guess. There's a counterpart Mario that's a rabbit, Luigi that's a rabbit, and Peach that's a rabbit, and apparently Peach just loves to take... That Peach rabbit loves to take selfies.
Yeah,
and she's just, like, all about herself and her wig and her hair, and she's just living, and she's just slaying everything.
She's like the XD Instagram girl.
Yes. She's like the girl who tags you and everything, and she's just like, oh, this is my best friend, hashtag this, hashtag that. That's what she is. Now... Basically, like I said, the game is strategy. It's strategy-based, where you take Mario, you move him from square C to square all the way over there. And you basically, there's certain things you have to do to take down enemies. And I know that there's other characters that you can get in your roster, like there's Toadette, there's Toad.
Yes.
There's different characters that can be a part of your roster.
They're like assists. They're almost like assists, I believe. They're not.
Yeah,
like,
assists.
I don't think they take the main role like Peach and whatever.
No, not main role. They're like assistant characters. And yeah, there's the game. I believe it's a pretty. From what I've heard about the game, it's been pretty fun. People have been enjoying it. You know, it's actually been a surprise to us because, you know, when I first saw this game, I'll be honest with you, I'm not fake about anything. You know, that game, I was like, yeah, that doesn't look like it'd be enjoyable. I don't think anyone's going to get this. But people have been buying it. People love it. Mm-hmm. The strategy part of it is what really makes it. And even though, you know, with Rabbids, it's always a hit or miss. You know, because sometimes people just love Rabbids. And sometimes we're over the Rabbids, Ubisoft, okay? We're over it. So it's like, it's up and down with that. But people have been enjoying this game. So, you know, you can look at some videos for yourself and see maybe... you or your one of your loved ones will enjoy this. It's like I said, it's a strategy game. So if you like games that are quick, this probably is not the game for you. But if you like games where you have to think and say, and you want to just think and you want to spend your time relaxing and thinking about that, then you might enjoy this game.
I believe it also is much more. Its campaign is really short, but it has like a really rich
replayability.
Yeah, I guess. I honestly I can't tell you for sure. I just have heard that from multiple people now.
All right, well then you better take those multiple people's word for it. Next game is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, how did we not mention this game at the beginning? So this game, I think a lot of Zelda fans have been craving this type of Zelda game. Free world Zelda. Free world. You do, and you can go and do whatever you want. So many different things to do in this game. So many side quests. So many for the main quest as well. Oh my god. You can get lost in this game if you're not careful. So I believe you played a lot more of this game than I have.
Yeah.
So what are some of your thoughts playing this? Because one thing I know about you is you're not a big Zelda fan.
Mm-mm.
So how have you handled this game?
I mean, it definitely wasn't a bad game. I think it was really good. I think it played well. Its campaign was really fun. Like, its story, it worked. Like, I was very suspect of having it still played like a pretty much, as in story-wise, it still was pretty much like a normal Zelda game, so it's very weird for having a normal Zelda story in a completely abnormal Zelda type of game, but it worked. And that's one thing I really do like about it, considering Zelda games, at least as of late, they've taken story priority. I mean, maybe not for this game, but, in general. And so that, when you go into it and you start playing it as an open world game, especially if you're used to a more structured form of play like Zelda games are known for, where more
linear Zelda games like
Yes.
Ocarina, where it's like you're on a straight path. You can't really go sidetracking on things. The story won't advance.
There is a difficulty progression in those games.
Yeah.
In this game, there's still, I would argue there still is. I didn't play it more than once, so I actually can't confirm this, but I believe certain areas, like there's 4 dungeons in the game, and I believe that the enemies say you do one dungeon and then you do another one, or let me give names because it doesn't matter. Say you do the water one and then you do the air one. If you did it in reverse order, so you did the air one first, I believe that the enemies would be more difficult in the water one than you doing the water one first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
I believe that's true. I could be wrong. But either way, there is some difficulty progression, and there are certain areas that you just don't want to go to unless you want to face much more difficult enemies, as you would expect in an open world game. But there is, at least in the beginning of it, there is a linear progression to the game, because obviously they can't just throw you into it not knowing where you're supposed to go. But I believe once you get like the main mission to go to the 4 dungeons, you honestly can go anywhere. I would suggest the game if you don't have another game to play, and that's just because it is a longer game and there is a lot more to do in it. I mean, they really thought a lot about what goes into the game, like even the nitty-gritty about things, and there are a lot of missions to do. I did not 100% the game, and I never planned on doing it. If you're into that, there is a lot of like smaller replayability to it, but I find no value in playing it again. Like, I haven't picked it up since it came out, and I don't plan on doing it again, or since I finished it. I'm sorry. And also, I think I'm not sure if I ever mentioned it, but like I only beat the game by accident, in the sense of I thought there was more to like the final dungeon, the one where you face, spoilers alert, you face Ganon. And I didn't know that I was going right into, like, the boss battle. And I'm like, I am not prepared at all. And I won. I didn't expect to win. But, so I would, you can even face the final boss, basically whenever you want. It's really hard to even get to the final boss if you don't have all 4, dungeons complete, but it was a pretty good game regardless, and I think that's cool that you could technically go in and do whatever. And honestly, now thinking about it, you really could go, like, maybe facing the final boss with like the meager weapons you start off with would be difficult, but it's definitely possible. It wouldn't be impossible to any degree. It'd just be very difficult.
Right. And
so that'd be a waste of money though, to buy the game and just be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the final boss.
Yeah, exactly. This, if you like explorer games, if you like exploring, you like free worlds, this is the game for you. And, there have been people who have been converted into Zelda fans by playing this game, because this is the first Zelda game they played, and they're like, wow, you know, they just really enjoy it, and it's really fun for them. So, you know, you guys might enjoy it, even if you never heard of the Zelda series before. If this is your first time, and you're like, oh, this is my first Zelda game, this could be what gets you into series, you know what I mean? So, that's totally a game we recommend. Next is Super Bomberman R. Now, I don't know if you have this game, Sol. Nope. Do you have this game? Okay. Well, let me explain the Bomberman series to people who don't know. Bomberman is basically a game where you control this little bomber dude, or dudette, if you pick a girl, and you run around the map, you place bombs, you put them against bricks and things like that to break them, so you can advance forward. So usually if you're playing with versus, you'll be stuck on this square-shaped map, and you just put the bombs against the very weak blocks, break them, and advance forward. And your goal is to get your enemy out. So let's say like I'm playing against Sol. My goal would be to get Sol out. So I would try to place a bomb near him so that he will get hit by the explosion and he will lose. Now, if you're playing with multiple people, there's a chance for you to come back, and there's things like that. There's many different rules and ways you can play it. But basically, it's simple. Get your opponent out with a bomb. That is straightforward as it can get. This game has a story mode, just like pretty much all the other Bomberman games. It has a unique story mode. It's quite funny, I would say. The story mode's actually pretty hard, even on normal difficulty.
Dang.
So that's one thing that I would recommend, like, be cautious about. If you're not really a fan of difficulty, maybe you might not enjoy that story mode like that. But, you know, there's tons of things to do. It has an online mode, just like many of the other online games we mentioned. My only thing with this game is that it's very much a game of you play it for a while and then you don't play it. Because Bomberman it's the same thing each time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really much different. You always start on the same side of the map, and you gotta just put bombs in certain places. And you know, it's the same thing at match after match after match after match. So that's the only thing that's kind of a negative. And I'm being honest, I don't want to hide anything from you. And you're like, oh well, dang, this isn't really fun. But it's definitely a game to always come back to and always have fun. Like I play it for a while, I don't play it for a couple of weeks, and I play it, and then that's how it is for me. It does have replayability, because when I don't play it for a while, I'm like, oh, I want to play Bomberman, and I just go back and I play for like 2 hours straight, and I'm just like getting people out. I was playing with Dark Boo, and I got him out, and he got so pissed off at me.
Do you still play it?
I played it just a week ago.
That's
a week
good.
ago, and before that, I played it like a month ago. So it's very much a game that you go back to. It's just not a game that I would play every day, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It's not one of those online games where you can play every day. Like, I can play Splatoon every day, I can play Mario Kart, every day. I can't play this every day. So that's pretty much it. But it's definitely a fun game, and there's different bombers. They have different personalities. There's the white bomber, black bomber, red, blue, yellow, green, pink, aqua. And then there's special DLC bombers that you can get that cost, like, they don't cost real life money. They cost, like, in-game currency, 100 gold coins, I believe, something like that. And yeah, they're even adding new bombers now. They're adding a lot to this game now. So the game's getting a big update. So I recommend Super Bomberman R. Blow up your opponents. Get them pissed off. It's very fun. Very fun. I recommend it. Okay, next game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, this is not a game we're really going to mention a lot because it didn't even come out yet. But I want to talk about it because this episode is going to be coming out soon of Spider Chat. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out December 1st. So I just want to mention it for the people who, like the Xenoblade Chronicles series. I'm just mentioning it as a reminder that it's there. It's out December 1st worldwide, so everyone can get it. It's available on the Switch. Mm-hmm. I recommend getting it. If you like Xenoblade Chronicles, it might be the game for you. Next is Pokken Tournament DX. So Pokken Tournament is a whole subject that I think Sol will probably talk more about when we get to the Wii U part, because he's actually played it on the Wii U. But Sol, what are some differences between this and the Wii U version? Do you know?
Yes, I don't... Okay, it has new characters. I couldn't tell you what the new characters are completely, but basically, to give some backstory, Pokken Tournament, the original, came out on the Wii U, and then there was also an arcade version. The arcade version got more characters as months progressed, but the Wii U version never got them. Basically, the DX version has all those new characters. I can name, I think it was like Krogunk and Empoleon and Caesar are the ones I remember, and I think there's 3 more. And then the DX version, the one on the Switch, also added 1 more character, and that's Decidueye from Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think there's some other stuff, but honestly, that's the main change. I know it's kind of like disappointing to say, but that's the main change.
So they also, I believe they also have Scizor.
Yes,
Scizor.
I said that.
They have, you said Scizor, you said Darkrai, Empoleon, Krogunk.
I said Krogunk, Empoleon, Scizor.
I'm just mentioning it all again. Oh my god, someone is heated. So Saul's going to talk more about that when we get to the Wii U part, because he's played it on the Wii U. So, yeah, but if it's DX version, it comes out... Oh, it's already out.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's already out.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, whoops! Look at us!
I knew I obviously knew the Wii U version was out, but I thought it came out, like, this week.
I thought it comes out in December for Pokken Tournament for the Switch. But, looks like SpiderStaryu and Soul weren't doing their research. Very bad. So it's already out. You can go get it. It's available. So, for the Switch. And the Wii U. We'll talk about that later on the Wii U. Last game for the Switch is Sonic Mania. Now, Soul, did you play Sonic Mania?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Really? Wait, did you buy it or someone else bought it?
I bought it.
Oh, okay. So it looks like me and you both are going to talk about this. Yes. Okay. So what's Sonic Mania about? What is it about?
Okay, honestly, it doesn't really matter what it's about so much as like, it's... No, I'm gonna be honest, because its story mode is whatever. It's more, like, there's barely any story to it. I mean, it's a Sonic game. Basically,
classic
the premise
Sonic.
Is, like... Yeah, it's basically like, hey, back to the roots of Sonic, and it is a pretty good, like... I wouldn't say recreation, but, you know, like, it fits extremely well into Sonic 1 through 3. Right? I mean, I think we can all say that. It feels like that. They added a bunch more new zones to it. I like the game. The problem is it is extremely short, and I actually thought the game was overhyped for what it was. Because I thought the game was good, and I do think it's a great game, and if you like classic Sonic, you're going to love the game. But it is extremely short, and you can blaze through those levels and not realize you went through them. And it becomes extremely forgettable. The thing is, like most Sonic games, which is strange because people don't talk about this, it actually is a lot more about exploration because each zone and act is really big, and there's a lot to find in there. And unfortunately, if you're like me, who's really bad at doing that, especially in Sonic games, the Sonic 2D games, that's why I actually kind of like Colors and stuff, because I like those more. But you will not like... You won't do great in it. I like the game, and I completed it, and it wasn't hard. It's just not... I mean, I don't think... It's not the price of a full price game, which is good, because it's not...
Isn't it like $10, $20?
I think it's $20.
$20, yeah. It's only $20, so it's more like a... You could tell it was meant to be like a side game, not like a main big game, which we're thankful for, because it was $60. I wouldn't recommend it. But it's a $20 game. It's not just available on the Switch. It's also on PC for Steam, on Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. It's on all of it. So if you have any of those other consoles, you could buy it on there if you want. But we're mentioning the Switch one because obviously we're a Nintendo podcast. So, you know, go out and buy Sonic Mania. It's very fun. If you enjoy classic Sonic, this is the game for you, because I know that the Sonic series has had just a lot of a big roller coaster when it comes to their games. It's always up, down, or sometimes when it's really down, like Sonic Boom. Okay, so we're done with the Switch. That's it. Like, we went through all the Switch games. So there are more Switch games available. So check your local stores to see what Switch games that we didn't mention on here that you really will enjoy. But we mentioned all the really good ones that we have enjoyed or that we know that people are looking forward to. So, let's go through the whole list one more time. Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Puyo Tetris, ARMS, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Bomberman R, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Pokken Tournament DX, and Sonic Mania. Alright, so next console is the 3DS. Now, me and Soul did something a little bit different this time. We actually picked 5 games each, that we both, you know, either maybe we both have it, or maybe we just enjoyed one more, whatever. So you're gonna go first for this one because I've been talking so much. Oh my god, I need to shut up. So you're gonna go. What's your first game?
So I'm gonna go with the first one as the one I don't know much about, which I know is a strange thing to pick, but I think it's just gonna be out of the way. Professor Layton series, you know, the puzzle game series with the detective. They've made a new transition with the game, and that the protagonist is not Professor Layton, and you don't play as Professor Layton, rather his daughter named, I believe, Katrielle. And it's a different formula than most games as well. Instead of working as like one particular, like there's like one overarching case that happens in most of the Professor Layton games, and you basically are working towards that. But in this one, I believe it's 13 or 12 cases that you have to face in Professor Layton and the Millionaire's Conspiracy, I believe it's called, with Katrielle. And these 12 cases eventually come to fruition into one goal. I believe also that this game just released, so it's perfect. I would like the game. I wanted to mention it because I'm not a person who plays Professor Layton games, but I know that it is a really good game series, and if you like puzzle games, that you'd like it. And because it's taking this new transition, I think it's a perfect time for people to start getting into it, because you might feel a little left out with the story. This one, it doesn't appear to be. I mean, Katrielle is still looking for her dad, which, as I said, daughter of Professor Layton, so you're looking for the titular Professor Layton. But I think it's interesting that they're making this change. I'm not sure how permanent it is. Maybe it's just for this game, but I don't think so. And I think that means it's just perfect for people to start getting into it again, or for new people to start getting into it.
Yeah, and I haven't really played Professor Layton. Have you played the older Professor Layton games, Soul? You never played it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you just recommend it because you know it's popular, and you know people. You want to just remind everyone that it's out.
Yes, I mean, I didn't know. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know it came out. So I was like, let me be attentive and tell everybody about this.
All right, good stuff. For me, my first game is Hey Pikmin.
Hey.
So I'm gonna be doing a whole podcast about this soon. It's not been released yet because every person I try to do this with just cancels on me. So, and I'm not kidding. It's like last second, so it sucks. But you know, we're gonna push through. We're gonna get that out for you guys soon, by December for sure. By December. So let me talk a little bit about this game. Hey Pikmin is a 2D side scroller where you control Olimar, and you take Pikmin and you let them do all the work. You travel with Pikmin, you travel through the whole level to collect certain artifacts. It could be something as silly as a watch, and Olimar will collect it, and he'll have a funny little description for it in his logs, because you can check his logs to see what he's found, enemies and objects and amiibos and things like that. And he always names the objects weird things. Like, he just says the weirdest things. Like, he'll look at a watch and say, oh, it's a calendar. And I'm like, what? Or say, oh, but this watch reminds me of my wife when she was this, that. And I'm like, okay, Olimar, if you're sure. But the game pretty much is straightforward. You control Olimar. You collect Pikmin. You throw the Pikmin just by touching the screen using your stylus or just using your finger. Just tap the screen and throw the Pikmin to go kill enemies, to collect things, to make bridges, to do all sorts of things. They do everything for you. The Pikmin are at your will. Now, I really like this game. The only thing is it's a little bit simple. That's one thing that some people have criticized it about, but I actually really like that. This game was totally a game that I can relax with and just sit down and just play some Pikmin and just be calm, go through the levels, and they were very straightforward, but, you know, the game is a little bit difficult in the sense that if you want to 100% it, you have to take all Pikmin through each level without any Pikmin dying. And if you play previous Pikmin games where it's 3D, you know that it's difficult. It's not easy for Pikmin not to die, because Pikmin just do whatever the heck they want to do sometimes.
I mean, Pikmin 3, it kind of got better with their, I don't know, what's it, AI?
Yeah.
But Hey Pikmin, especially because it's 2D, I don't trust them.
Sometimes you're on a platform and sometimes they'll just want to walk off, or sometimes they'll get scared or they'll fall over. Sometimes they trip, which is so adorable. The Pikmin really shine in this game because they have so many little cutscenes with just the Pikmin and they're doing silly things. They really shine in this game. And it's totally a game that's fun. If you want to get into the Pikmin series, I recommend it because it's an easy game to get into. Very easy. Now the thing is I know certain Pikmin fans who played the 3D Pikmin games, they might not be so inept to enjoy this game because they may be like, oh, well, no, I want my Pikmin games to be like this, 3D. Like, this game is not like that. So, to each their own, but I totally recommend it to people trying a new game. And if you need this in your 3DS library because it's fun. It's relaxing, it's fun, it's everything you want in a Pikmin game. That's how I feel. And yeah, so the game's already out. You can go pick it up. Hey, Pikmin.
Hey,
an exclamation. Hey! Yes. Whew. So what's your next game? Oh my gosh.
My next game is Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Ooh.
Mega Man 1 through 6 are installed into it, and there's also... I mean, honestly, it really is just like that. I mean, I think there's like a bunch of Pac-Man collection games, and in that sense, it's very similar, where it's just a bunch of Pac-Man games, and then they have like an art gallery and stuff you can unlock with that, but... The main purpose of Mega Man Legacy Collection is just to have the first 6 NES Mega Man games all together. And, I mean, it's not really much more than that. I can't... I mean, it pretty much Mega Man 1 through 6 covers all the peaks and valleys of the series. I mean, I can't stand Mega Man 1. I think it's a terrible game. Mega Man 2 and 3, however, are really great games. Mega Man 5 is also a really good game that I think is heavily underrated, and Mega Man 6 even more so, even though I think most people like it more than 5. And then Mega Man 4 is like another valley. So imagine it kind of just going like
up, down.
It goes like starts at a bottom, it comes to the peak, and then it hits like rock bottom, and then it goes back up.
Also, special thing, HJ's in the game. He
What?
guest stars as Dustman.
Oh god, I forgot about that. Anyway, he's in a... Anyways, if you want to get, like, it's almost like a Mega Man sampler, because they also have a Mega Man Legacy 2, but it is not available on the 3DS, like Mega Man Legacy Collection. And I believe, I forgot what's on Mega Man Legacy 2. I mean, it's like 7, 8, 9, 10 probably, and I think X. It's probably actually just 7 through 10. But 9 and 10 were actually on WiiWare, which is interesting. And then 7 and 8 were on, like... What was it, PlayStation? Something different. It wasn't like a Nintendo device. It was on a different device, I believe. But regardless, I would seriously check it out because Mega Man is a legendary platformer that hasn't really, it's been lost as of late. I'm just kind of waiting for them to go under and sell Mega Man to probably Nintendo, who probably will do something about it. Like, if Sonic keeps going this way, I expect Sonic to be a Nintendo franchise, like Nintendo.
I mean, Mega Man was in
2025.
Smash Brothers, so... Anything is possible.
Yeah. I don't think that really means anything to me. That's not really what... I mean, I guess it kind of helps, but I think it just in general, it plays like a Nintendo game. It's been on Nintendo devices. It has that charm like Nintendo games. I just think that alone is good evidence of Mega Man being sold off to Nintendo.
Exactly.
But regardless, that's not the point.
Next game is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. So, let me give you the tea about this game. So, if you're wondering, what is Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga? This is a game that's been released for the Game Boy Advance many generations ago. And by generations, I mean like 2004? I think 2004, 2003? It's been like 15 years. Wow. Yeah, the game was released like 15 years ago, I would say. And they remade it for the 3DS. Now, Nintendo has already released a couple of Mario and Luigi games on the 3DS. They released Dream Team, Mario and Luigi Dream Team. They released Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. And now they're remaking Superstar Saga. So this is a remake of Superstar Saga with, of course, add-ons with Bowser's Minions. Bowser's Minions have a whole another side story. And I believe it's after you beat the game, you get to play it so you can see the Bowser's Minions point of view. But I totally recommend this game. Why? Because Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga is a legendary game. That game is one of the best Mario RPGs around. And it's on a handheld. Can you believe that Superstar Saga was on a handheld and it was so good? You know, they were so good that Nintendo was like advertising, like, oh, get the GameCube Game Boy player where you can play Game Boy Advance games on the GameCube. You know, because it was so good, and now they remade it for the 3DS, and it's still so good. I have it. I've only played through a little bits and pieces of it so far because I've had so many games I've had to play and film some stuff for. So, but it's such a fun game. Please, guys, please get it. If you are a fan of RPGs. If your loved ones are a fan of RPGs, this is a good game to get because it's very simple. It's not that hard to get into. And I think that's one thing about the games I'm mentioning, because I want to mention games that, like, people will love, like, if you like RPGs, if you like Mario, you know, things like that, but also if you just love simpler games that are not so difficult to get into. Because I know for some people, you know, you play an RPG, like you play Final Fantasy, and sometimes you'll be like, what the hell's going on? Because it's so complex about certain things, like you get certain status ailments, you get this, you get that. Sometimes enemies will attack from this way and that way. It can be a little bit confusing, but this game is very straightforward with you attack, then Luigi attacks, then enemies attack, and you can avoid it by jumping or using your hammer or things like that. It's such a fun game. Just get this game, guys. Come on. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. If you like RPGs, you know, you like Mario, you just love that type of game, this is the game to get. Oh, I've had so much fun with it. And so before we move on, have you played Superstar Saga?
No, but I've watched someone play the entirety of the original Superstar Saga.
I knew it was.
Yes.
Come on. That's probably why the game was so popular at the time. Alright, so what's your next game?
Oh, okay. My next game is, I'm gonna choose Metroid Return
No, that's not what it's called!
That is the...
Metroid Samus Returns.
Whatever, Metroid Samus Returns. Sorry. It's based off of Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Okay. I hate to use the word, but it pretty much is a redux of Metroid 2. I didn't play much of Metroid 2. I think I barely remember playing it on, like, was it Virtual Console? Maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't an original Game Boy. I've played it somewhere. Regardless, this game, it is actually pretty difficult, at least to me. If you have patience, this is the game for you, because there isn't much story to it. There isn't a huge sense of progression to it. However, there is a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I like the game. I do think that with regard it especially if you are a big Metroid fan, I think this is actually or aren't a big Metroid fan, I actually think this is the game for you, because if you aren't a Metroid fan, that probably means you like platformers, and Metroid is still not mainly a platform, but there still is platforming elements to it, and there is still a sense of like adventure to it. So it's almost like a hybrid of like Mario with Zelda in it, and then it has its own thing into it. I just like it a lot. And the reason why I mentioned it's a good like gateway into it is because the next Metroid Prime game is coming out soon, with that like feeble teaser they gave us for E3. Like, we all know about it, but that's all we know, that it's coming. So I would buy the game, get the game, especially for I guess easing into Metroid. Though I guess this is a 2D Metroid game and Metroid Prime is a 3D game, but you know, getting into the series regardless, it's fun. I like it. And you got it, right?
I got it, and I recorded an episode of Spider Chat about it.
Oh, so you know what you're talking. You know this game.
I know this game, Mama. I know this game. Metroid Samus Returns is a masterpiece beyond masterpieces.
Oh, wow, and he's into it.
I'm just saying that because, look, let me give you a little backstory. I have been a big Metroid fan for as long as I can remember. I've always played Metroid games. And I guess it's because my older brother and my older sister, you know, they would play Metroid games. Now, not so much. I don't really care about games now because they're older, I guess. But for me, I loved it. I played Super Metroid. I played Metroid 2. I played the first Metroid. Like, I played those types of games when I was young. And I saw Samus in Smash Brothers. And I thought she was just the coolest thing ever. I just loved using her charge beam and everything like that. I love the Metroid. I'm in love with the Metroid series. Now, giving you that little backstory, I played Samus Returns. I knew it was a kind of like a remake of Metroid 2, But it's so much more than that. And please, I don't want anyone to play this game and just think, oh, it's just a remake of Metroid 2. It is so much more than a remake of Metroid 2. There's so much more added to this game. There's so much more to this game than just that. Because the only thing that's like Metroid 2, really, if we want to be real, is the story. Because they changed so much with the map that it's like nothing, almost very few areas are the same in certain regards. Very few areas are exactly the same. It's so different. And it's just, this game does so much for Metroid lore that if you like Metroid and you like the stories of Metroid, this Metroid game has so much lore to it because it has the story about the little baby Metroid. And oh my god, I could just keep going on about this game. I did a whole podcast about it with Super Zamazi. Do you know who that is, Soul?
No.
Oh, you really don't know?
Definitely not.
Well, he doesn't know who that is, but I know who that is. Yeah, just go see the episode. It's on my YouTube channel, Spider Chat, Metroid Samus Returns, episode 5, and understand more of why I like the game. But yeah, what Soul said is totally true. It's a great Metroid game to ease into. It really is. Because, you know, Soul, you felt it was a little bit hard. You know, I guess a little bit, but, you know, it's very easy for someone who doesn't really know the game to get into.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It eases you into it, obviously. I'm just saying, I mean, there is some difficulty to it.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. For sure. So, yeah, we recommend this game. Get Metroid Samus Returns. Now, that's definitely a game you should get this holiday season. Absolutely, without a doubt. If they like Metroid or if they don't like Metroid, this is the game to get. Whew, so I just stole Soul's game. That was him, and then I just, like, piled onto it. Next game is Mario Party The Top 100. Now, this game came out fairly recently. What, last week or 2 weeks ago? Very recently.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Very recently this game came out. And this is basically Mario Party with 100 minigames. 100 minigames from past Mario Party games. Now, each Mario Party game, it doesn't get, like, 10 each, like 10 Mario Party 1, 10 Mario Party 2. No, it's not like that. You get a certain amount for each Mario Party game. Mario Party 1, like, gets 6 minigames from Mario Party 1, 11 from Mario Party 2, 11 from Mario Party 3, something like that, where it's, like, various amounts for each game. But they take, from what they consider the best minigames from each game, and they put it into this giant collection. Now, let me tell you the tea about this game, because this is something I also want to record a podcast about. I recommend this game because it is so much fun to play with friends. There's so many mini games. There's a lot of mini games. Like, it's probably the most a Mario Party has had. 100 mini games. Come on, that's a lot of mini games, and there's a lot of classic mini games that are just so good. Now, where this game just unfortunately falls flat is that there's not a lot of modes. You know, they have the main minigame island where you will play through all 100 minigames, so you can get a feel of all the minigames. You go through all 100 minigames, and then that's it. You beat the mode. And they have a decathlon where you have to get the best record in certain minigames. And they have a minigame. They have a board map, but it's only one board map, and that's it. But they have classic items in it. So this game is very much like you get from this game what you put into it. Now, if you're expecting this grand Mario Party to end all Mario Parties, then you're going to be very mistaken, because this is not going to be that.
Okay.
But if you enjoy mini games, if you enjoy playing Mario Party with your friends, this is still a great game to get, because there's no denying you can have so much fun with these mini games. There's so many mini games. You know, you can play certain mini games and be like, oh, I remember that mini game from Mario Party 6. Oh, I played that with my mom. I played it with my brother. I played it with my friend Peter. What type of name is Peter? Anyway, I played my friend William. Who's William? I don't know who that is.
Hey guys, what's next?
But yeah, no, being real. I'm giving you guys the tea about these games, okay? So I'm not hiding it. So yeah, that's Mario Party Top 100. If you already know all of what I said and you still want to get it, absolutely, I totally recommend it. Go get it, because there's lots of mini games, and oh my god, you can go on a nostalgia rush with this game because they make a lot of the past mini games remade. It's a better graphics, sometimes better mechanics. It's a good game. It's a good game. Go get it right now. Get it for Christmas or whatever holiday you choose to celebrate. Whew. So I named 3 so far. So what's your next one? This should be your 4th one, I believe.
My fourth game. It is. I'm gonna save my favorite for last.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about Fire Emblem Fates,
Ooh.
which is technically 2 games, technically 3 games. ? Fire Emblem Fates, and then there's Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, and wow, I don't remember the other one. Birthright and Conquest. It took me for a second. Birthright is the easier one. Conquest is the harder one. That's pretty much it. Birthright also is the one that plays like normal Fire Emblem games, the strategy RPG game, where you kill people. Conquest is a little different. It's kind of hard to explain its differences because I'm just really bad at explaining things like this. But it's just harder for the most part. I mean, that's the first thing I can agree with, or like the first thing that comes to mind. Then there's also the third game, which was called Revelations, which is technically like the one you want to play last if you were to buy. Honestly, I played it, and there are these little different like subtle things that they mention in either game that they don't really. Birthright or Conquest, and then Revelations, they like these subtle things that you don't pay much mind to, and you're like for a second you question it and they don't say anything. In Revelations they become a big deal. I don't think I ever finished Revelations because imagine this. There was an expansion pack not expansion pack. There was like a collector's edition, and I bought the collector's edition, which had both games and Revelations all in one. It was like $80, I think. Actually, I think it was like $90. And I bought it, and I still have it, but, I mean, I played the first game, and then I played the second game back-to-back, and I was like, I just can't play a third, so I only got about, like, past, like, the first part of the game and stopped, because I was just like, I need to, like, I can't look at this game anymore. But it is a really good game. I mean, to say that, if I could play both versions of the game, and still love it, I think that says something about it. The problem is, as I said, they are 2 separate games, so if you want to buy both, I wouldn't advise it, or at least not, like, I would buy one and then buy the other, unless you just know you really like Fire Emblem, because I really do, even if I'm not great at it. I'm just not the most skilled game person in general, but, I cheated. I remember there's a mode where, like, people don't die. Like, even, there's 3 modes. There's the one where if a character dies in the game, you can't use them again. That's, like, the really hard one. There's the normal mode where if a character dies in the match, you just can't use them until you finish the round, or whatever. The battle. And then there's the one that's the really cheap one, where literally it's, like, the invincible one, and it's just, like, hey, if someone dies, they just come right back to life. And that's really it. Like, that's the one I had to do for, especially towards the latter parts of Conquest, the harder one. Conquest was very hard. You do have to grind in that one. Like, as I've learned, you do have to grind in that one. And the unfortunate problem is, that game, that second one doesn't give you much opportunity to grind. Like, it is not forgiving. So, even though I like the characters and the overall premise of Conquest more, Birthright is definitely the one to play if you're not ready for a challenge in Fire Emblem, or if you're not looking for a challenge, because some people don't look for a challenge, which is fine. That's all I have to say on it.
Look, I want to ask you a question. When it comes to this game, did you play Fire Emblem Awakening?
Yes, of course.
Now that game was very popular. Everyone was going crazy about that game when it came over to the States, but which game did you enjoy more, Fates or Awakening?
Probably Fates, because Fates just builds onto Awakening.
Oh, okay. Alright, just wondering.
As in, like, in terms of the elements in it. It's a different story completely, but...
Got it. Okay, my next game is Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now,
exciting.
I have this game, and it is a very fun game, and I probably already beat it. But I don't want to reveal that, so yeah, you guys can't know my team yet. I'll reveal my team soon.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh. Can't you give us a sneak peek?
Okay, well, Staryu's there. Let's be real.
Shocker.
That's all you get. Staryu's there.
Not a Starmie.
I'm gonna evolve him to Starmie soon.
Unsatisfactory.
You know what? You'd have to deal with it. But this game already came out a couple days ago, actually. Like, no, this Friday. Like, we're recording this on the 22nd of November. It came out, like, the Friday before. So, it came out very recently. And this is going to be the last Pokemon game on the 3DS. That's what I've heard. The last game on the 3DS. Oh, so... You know, the sad thing about this... Well, but the last Pokemon game... Let's be real, I don't know if they're not making any 3DS games. I'm saying the last Pokemon game. I think after this, they're going to be moving on to the next generation, so... One can only expect... One can only wonder what they're going to do. Yep.
The Switch.
The Switch is going to get... Generation 8. Can you believe that we've gone through almost seven generations of Pokemon?
Yeah.
We have 800 freaking Pokemon. 800!
Mm-hmm.
That is bonkers. That is crazy as heck. I think it's so crazy that we literally have freaking 7 generations of Pokemon and 800 Pokemon. That is so bizarre how the Pokemon series has grown. This is 20 years of Pokemon. 21 years. 21 years of Pokemon. That's what it is. So, it's so outstanding to just see how the Pokemon series has grown. So, I can't wait to get Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. The only thing I heard about it that's a negative... Because, you know, I'm keeping it real. I don't say, like, oh, good, and don't mention anything negative. The only negative thing I heard is that it is very similar to Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the first parts of the game. Very similar. I hear once you get, like, close to beating the game, and then you beat the game, that's when it changes around. That's, like, when it changes around and it becomes different, and there'll be new stuff. So, that's just a cautionary thing for you. If you already have Sun and Moon and you're like, oh, I don't want to go through this again, then... I'm warning you from the beginning that there's going to be some moments that are going to be very, very similar. They're pretty much exactly the same. So, you know, take that as you will. Alright, Sol, what's your last 3DS game?
My last 3DS game is one of my all-time favorite games ever.
Donkey Kong Country 3D?
No. One of my all-time favorite games is Icarus Uprising, one of the best games on the 3DS, and I'm very upset that they don't have plans to really continue the series. Because it is underrated and it just plays amazing. Even if its controls were like a bone of contention back in the diggity day when it first came out. Because it does play a little strange on the 3DS, but it was still very fun. It has a very well written not only story but dialogue, and I can appreciate a good story, like a game with good dialogue, natural sounding dialogue. The voice actors they chose were brilliant. It is very much involved. I mean, it was a Masahiro Sakurai game, so you can expect a lot of care put into it. It basically is an on-rails shooter half of the way, and then a ground, like an on-ground beat 'em up for the rest of it. Pretty much every level starts off with the on-rail shooter part for about 5 minutes, and then you go onto a grounded exploration, go to a boss, defeat it, voila, you completed the chapter sort of ordeal. Its characters are great, as I mentioned before. Some of the characters you'll recognize from Super Smash Brothers. There's Palutena and Dark Pit, and if you did Palutena's Guidance on the Palutena map on the Wii U version, you'd also have Viridi appear, who is an important character into Kid Icarus. And the best part about Kid Icarus Uprising is that it isn't just one story. As in, there isn't just a single... there are multiple goals to accomplish, but there are multiple, almost like, sagas. The first 10 chapters revolve around pretty much one saga. And then, I believe there's 15 more chapters after that. Or maybe 10, I do not remember. Or actually, I think it's like 14, 13 after that. Spoilers, but it's a 6-year-old game, so I don't really care. Because there's 10, and then, but between those, within, especially the latter half, there are multiple smaller stories that you have to go through. And I really like it because there aren't a lot of games like that, actually, in terms of story and in terms of play, because I can't think of any game that's necessarily comparable to it. I can't think of any game with a story that's necessarily comparable to it. It was an especially interesting take, considering Kid Icarus just wasn't a thing. It was, but, it was nothing like how how it manifested into Kid Icarus Uprising. It had a lot more than what it made, like, it didn't really make that much money off of it, and there's a lot to it. Like, there was an entire AR card system to it, and like 320 cards. And for how small that game was, I mean, imagine like the Animal Crossing amiibo. Like, there's so many Animal Crossing amiibo and nobody's getting them. It was almost like that. But it's almost sadder to see, because like there were a bunch of these AR cards and now they're extremely hard to get. So collecting them is almost like worthless. In fact, there are certain cards that just aren't available in the country, and how it was held was ridiculous. But the game itself was amazing. It is one of my all-time favorite games, and once again, please make it for the Switch, because it's really good and I like it. Thanks.
With that game also, I just want to mention for people who don't know, is Smash Brothers Wii U has a ton of items from that game.
Yes.
A lot of items were taken from that game. Because Sakurai, I think he was just like, screw it, you know what, this is my game, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. Well, not probably didn't say it like that, but he added so much stuff from Icarus Uprising into Smash Brothers. And I think it's amazing that first Pit got his rebirth in Brawl. And I feel like that was a test. That was Sakurai's test to see, like, okay, can I like reinvent him a bit? So he didn't change Pit so much. He just he made him like, okay, what's the Pit we know? Oh, he takes down Medusa, right? Medusa.
Yes.
Eggplant wizards and things like that. Yep. So he wanted to keep him in more like that's why he had that voice, the hi-ya and the you can't defeat me, Great Palutena, victory is ours, that type of voice. But then you can tell once Uprising came around, Pit had his own developed personality, completely more developed, and just so much more about Pit now. And about Palutena. Palutena has more of a personality. Dark Pit, he's coming to fruition. And he's Pit 2. That's what he is. Pit 2.
Yes, that's his name.
Yes. And, it's just amazing how Sakurai was able to, make the series get rebirthed and just be such a great series. And, hopefully they do something on the Switch. I haven't played the game as much as you. I just played it on my friend's 3DS because he has the game. So I literally played it on his 3DS. So... I recommend it as well. But take Soul's word, because he's played the game and he knows the game. So, yes.
An interesting fact about Dark Pit.
Yeah.
Dark Pit is known as... Dark Pit, in the game, he's given a nickname, Pitu, as Staryu mentioned. But in Japan, he's known as Black Pit, because he's, like, dressed all in black, and the skin, he's actually based off of Pit's black skin from... Brawl, thank you. But there's obviously they're not going to call him Pit 2 in Japan, because that wouldn't make sense, I guess, to them, because it's like Pit 2, but I guess it wouldn't be, the number 2 isn't, I don't know what it is. I think it's like She in Japanese.
Yeah.
She.
Yes, it is.
So, he's Black Pit in that game, so he's actually known as Blappy, Blapi, and I don't understand. It sounds like an Atari game, like Blappy. That sounds like an Atari game. I thought it's hilarious. So, fun fact of the day, Blappy.
Fun fact for Spider Chat. Ooh. Okay, so my last game is actually games.
Oh.
So I have two. It's two, but it's very similar in regards, so I feel like it's okay. My last two games are Kirby Triple Deluxe and Kirby Planet Robobot. Now, these 3DS Kirby games have been just some of the most masterful, the best, just overall, just, I don't have the words to describe how much I enjoy these two Kirby games. They're so different, yet the style is the same. You run around, you suck up enemies, that's the same. But each game has something that makes it special. They have, of course, the unique abilities, but also, like, there's a main feature for each of these Kirby games. For Triple Deluxe, Kirby gets the Hypernova ability where he can just suck up anything. He can suck up a giant snake. He can just suck up trains and everything. He can suck up anything. It doesn't matter how big it is. He can suck up anything. It's the truth.
Alright, Staryu, just continue burying yourself in that hole.
Hey now, you're an all-star. I love Kirby, so it was just a little joke. But yeah, literally that's the whole point of the game. You suck up a giant tree and things like that. That's what you do. And for Planet Robobot, the main feature is the Robotech. Robotech.
Mech, I think it was a mecha.
Mecha
That's
suit.
what it's called.
Yeah. Well, I play the game more than Soul, and Soul knows that more than me. What the heck?
I just remember it was spelled like Meka, I believe.
Yeah, it was something like that. But Kirby has a robo suit pretty much, and he can suck up enemies with the robo suit. Like he can use different abilities now that are rebirthed with the robo suit, and that's pretty much the main part of the game. You could just go through levels with the robo suit, go punch enemies, use certain abilities to get through certain. Like there's a wheel ability where literally the whole machine will turn into like a car, and you just go through the whole level. It's just so awesome. I love these Kirby games so much. Now, I wanted to recommend both of them because I wanted you, the listeners, to see and pick for yourself, like, which one do I get? Well, you decide yourself. Like, there's certain abilities in the game that are unique to this game. Like, I believe Triple Deluxe has unique abilities like the Bell, Beetle, Archer. I don't know, how do you say that? Archer with the bow?
It's definitely Archer.
Archer. Okay, my bad. Archer, Spear, which is like Waddle Dee from one of the previous games where Waddle Dee had a spear. They had those abilities. And then with Planet Robobot, they have Smash Brothers, they have UFO, they have Mirror from Superstar, Kirby Superstar.
The best copy ability.
I like that ability a lot too.
Mirror is the best. It is one of my it is my all-time favorite. Let me clarify.
Oh, okay. Oh. Poison, Doctor, and this ESP. I love ESP. Oh my god, ESP. Yes. And also both games have Circus, which I love that ability so much. That's a fun ability. It's just fun to use. But yeah, there's so many different things in each game that make it unique, but are similar in the sense that if you play Triple Deluxe, you'll be able to play Planet Robobot, and if you play Planet Robobot, you'll be able to play Triple Deluxe. It's that style that just it's so good. I love the Kirby series so much, guys. Just like the Metroid series, the Kirby series has a special place in my heart. So definitely go out and buy Triple Deluxe and or Planet Robobot, because guess what? These games have also been out for a year. Planet Robot's been out for a year, and Triple Deluxe has been out for a couple years. So you'll be able to easily find these games on sale. All right, and you can get a good deal on these games. So totally recommend them. Totally. Whew, and now we got to move on to the Wii U. After the Wii U, we are finished. So we don't have a lot of games for the Wii U because the Wii U is kind of at the end of its lifespan. Because now we're all focused on the Switch. But there are some 3D. Wow. There are some Wii U games that are on sale because, GameStop, Target, all those stuff, they're just trying to get rid of those games because the Wii U era is done. So me and Soul each have 2 games that we want to mention. Just like 2 games that are good that maybe you don't really know of, because everyone knows of Smash Brothers, everyone knows of Splatoon. We don't need to recommend those. Everyone already knows that. So we're gonna recommend games that maybe you forgot. So Soul, you want to start off again?
Yes. My first game is, we mentioned it before, Staryu kind of mentioned it before, and it's Pokken Tournament.
Yeah.
The original. Basically, if you're not willing to spend as much money on a Nintendo Switch game and you still have your Wii lying around and you want to get Pokken Tournament, it's on there. I've heard from one of my friends who is one of the higher competitive ranked, who is the character? Why am I forgetting the name? Oh my gosh. Hold on. I can do this. Pikachu Libre characters. They're one of the higher up characters for Pikachu Libre, who still plays on Wii U. There still are a lot of people on the online circuit for it, so it's not like you're being left behind. And it's the original one, so it doesn't have all the characters like DX does on the Switch, but I would suggest getting it because Pokken Tournament is, for those of you who didn't know, it's the Pokemon fighting game that was alluded to forever ago, I believe, with a Lucario and a Blaziken, both of who are playable. It's mainly like it's like Tekken, but I haven't played much Tekken, so I haven't played any Tekken, let me clarify, so I have no idea how similar it is. I just know that's the game people compare it to.
I play Tekken, and it's slightly similar, but not really, because the abilities of each Pokemon makes it so unique. There's so many projectiles in this game, so I wouldn't say it's like Tekken much at all.
Dang, never mind that.
So that's my opinion, because I haven't played as much as Soul, but I played bits and pieces, like at a local GameStop. I played as Chandelure. Oh my god, I love Chandelure. Yes.
One of my favorite characters.
I played as Pikachu, and I played as Gardevoir, and that's all I played as. But yeah, it was a fun game when I played it. So if the online scene is still strong, like Soul says, then yeah, why don't you pick it up? Because you can still have people to play with. And the game's been out for a year, so since Pokken Tournament DX is already out, this game probably will be a little bit cheaper, so you could probably get a good deal for it this holiday season. Okay, so next game is Super Mario 3D World. Whew, we covered this a lot back then in the Lost Levels many, many years ago. But, wow, that game came out 2013? No, not 2013, really? 2014? 2013 or 2014? It's been
I really do not remember.
It's been so long. That's all you need to know. Oh, wow, but that game is a real masterpiece. That is a masterpiece. That's a game I'm shocked that hasn't come to the Switch. But I can understand why they probably don't want it to come to the Switch, because there's not really much you can do more with it. But that game is the perfect multiplayer game. Mm-hmm. It is so crazy fun. You can control up to 4 characters. There's 5 playable characters: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and then you can unlock Rosalina after you beat the game, or after you go through a certain level. I forgot exactly. Yeah, so the game is crazy amounts of fun. There's 8 different worlds, go through so many different levels, and there's so many extra levels at the end of the game too. And they're challenging, they're fun. There's a Mario Kart level. This game is just perfect. I don't really like calling a game perfect, but this game is a game that I can literally go back and play and just have a blast with. I can just have crazy amounts of fun with. It's not really a game I recommend playing by yourself, because if you play by yourself, then I could say it's kind of like, it's good, but it's like,
I
it's
like
right.
playing it by myself though.
You did?
Yes, I did. I really liked it.
Well,
so I'm offended.
Oh, well, I'll say sorry twice. Sorry. But for me, I love playing with people, because I just need that I love throwing people off the level.
Oh, you're that guy.
Oh, yeah, you bet your butt I am. You bet. That's me. I'm that little Peach in the corner who will see you and just take you and just throw you, like when we're on a Switch thing, I'll throw you off. People get mad at me when I play this, but, it's just fun. It's just fun. You collect those green mini stars. There's different types of boss battles that were very unique at the time, and they still are unique, because I haven't seen them appear in another Mario game. A lot of the boss battles they had, Bowser had a really cool car. This game it did everything right, and also it interrupted the trope of Peach being a damsel, which of course we still have to we have to rescue a certain type of princess still. So that didn't stop, but at least it wasn't
kinda.
Peach. At least it wasn't Peach. Peach had to rescue. Peach was doing her job.
I liked playing as her. She was fun to play as.
She was fun. Yeah, absolutely. This game is just so much fun, guys. And if you have a Wii U still or whatever, get this game. This is the game to get. This is a game you can totally play with people and have a blast with. This is a game, you know what? On Christmas Day, you play with your family, or you play with your friends, or whatever. You can invite them over, play this game, because you guys will be loud, you'll be yelling at each other, you'll just have fun. You'll have crazy amounts of fun. You really will. So Super Mario 3D World, absolutely. And it's been out for a couple of years. You probably could find a good deal for it. I don't know if it's a part of Nintendo Selects or not. I don't know if the Wii U had that. But you can definitely I'm saying definitely probably, wow. You can probably get a good deal for this game. So what's your second and last game?
My second and last game is New Super Mario Bros. U. I guess this is like the real. I think it's actually the latest 2D Mario game.
Oh.
Now thinking about it, I don't think there has been another 2D Mario game since. Wow. Okay, sorry, I just realized that. New Super Mario Bros. U is pretty old, actually. It came out when the Wii U first launched, and it's like the other New Super Mario Bros. Games, except I think its world development is a lot more fleshed out than in New Super Mario Bros. The Wii. However, I think that it also has a lot more to offer in terms of power-ups and just overall differences in playstyle. And then we had, of course, New Super Luigi U, which was more of a challenge version of the game, I would say, with a bunch more levels, but they're all 100 seconds long. And then there were like there were actual challenge levels on top of that. I think it was actually a little bit overlooked on what type of game it was, because there was a lot offered in that game. It's a very good experience. I do wish that they would change it up a little bit more, because of course, you know, people have played the new Super Mario Bros. Games, and unfortunately the formula doesn't change much. However, with what they took with this game, like the baby Yoshis, for example, offering almost like a power-up, they worked a little differently than most power-ups, such as like the Fire Flower. It's not like a Fire Flower. They're like held items. They're like the closest things you can get to held items in Mario games, besides like keys. I now looking back at it, it's definitely I don't think it's aged poorly, but it's been overlooked because you have like games like New Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Odyssey that just came out on the Switch. But if you are looking for something that's a little bit more classic, I guess is the word, that would be the game for you.
Oh, okay, yeah, Super Mario Bros. U is a good game. I totally am down for that. And their little squirrel ability, which never returned, unfortunately.
Well, that's kind of like the thing as of late. Like, you know, I don't think Cappy's going to return anytime soon. I don't think the cat power-up's going to return anytime soon.
Probably not, no. Okay, my last game is Paper Mario Color Splash.
Yay.
That is a great game. And you know what? Let me give you a little backstory for people who don't know. So, when we first heard about this game, I was not having it. I was going to be like, you know what? I wasn't going to be like, this is what I said. I was like, no. This is ridiculous. I want Paper Mario to return to its old roots. I want Paper Mario 64. I want Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. I want those games. I don't want this type of game. No, it's going to be a bad game. I'm not going to get it. So when I looked at the trailers and stuff, I wasn't having it. And then you know what? Once the game came around, came out, I'm like, okay, I'll get it. Yeah. And oh my God. Was I proven wrong? This game is so much fun. And I did not expect to think that. I do think the whole thing that's a little bit ridiculous is the battles are still a little bit ridiculous with, okay, I have to paint a card to use it, because you don't use just jumping commands and things like that. You have to use a card. So I'm like, okay, I have to paint in a jump card to jump on someone. Then I have to send it forward to use it. And it's like, okay, really do all that, really just to use a card. But, if you look at the game itself, the story and the humor, oh my God. Is this game funny? This game has personality out the back. Simple, non-playable characters, NPC, Shy Guys. They're just around and they say stupid stuff. They're just so hilarious. There's random toads. They just say the most random things and it's funny. There's so many funny moments of this game. There's no way you couldn't play this game and not say that you chuckled at least once. Come on, not even once? I don't believe that. I was laughing all the damn time. And I think even I posted some things on Miiverse when Miiverse was a thing. Rest in peace, Miiverse.
It's not shot in the head. I'm so sorry about that.
I know. All my posts about Soul and my Pokemon games are gone. But anyway, back to what I was saying. To know that, this game has so much personality. I was so shocked about that because I didn't expect that. Because let me give you another tip. Sticker Star had no personality at all. And I love that. I like that game. I love the gameplay of that game, but it had no personality because the only person who had personality was Kirsty, and she was a little bit, feisty mouthed, but this game has so much personality with what's the paint can called? Paint can called?
Huey.
Huey, yeah. He was so funny, just the way he would react to things, and he would ugly cry, it was just so funny. Just so many moments. The game was hilarious. That is a game I recommend because you know what? That is a game that's gonna age very well. It's gonna age very well because you know what? It's so much fun.
It's a shame it was overlooked.
It was because it was one of the last games on the Wii U,
and I like when. I have this weird thing about organizational things, and I just like how this game has it's organized by color, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Each world falls falls under the category of color. There's like a red area and an orange area and a yellow area, green area, blue area, and a purple area. However, it doesn't fall, like, you're not going to go in progression. You do start at red, but I believe next is blue. Yeah. And then there's also, like, I think there was, like, a teal area. And then we have 2 different sections of purple. There's, like, a deep purple and a light purple.
Yes.
And you don't, the orange one you keep going back to, I believe, is the orange one. You actually, and then each of the Koopa kids is in a different color. Like, they're different.
Yes, each Koopa had a different color. One was dark blue, one was purple, one was green.
Except Roy Koopa, I believe, he was
red.
Not.
However, I thought he was red.
He was red? I thought the red one was... Oh, no, you're right. But he was the last one.
No, he was the Roy Koopa... Oh, no, you know what? I got the Koopas confused. I thought you were talking about Morton. You know, the one with the star?
Yeah,
no.
He's the one in the tower. When did Roy come in?
Roy was the last one. No, you're right. You're right, Soul.
Okay.
I think when you fought him, he had a cannon that shoot different colors. Maybe, I think that's why.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay, sorry, I got confused. Yeah, you're right. Roy didn't have a color. But yeah, wow. That game is definitely a good game. And you know what? It might be on sale because, like I said, Wii U is done. So any copy available, they might make it a little bit cheaper, maybe $40, something like that. So, definitely consider getting it, guys, because, that is a good game. That is a game you don't want to miss out on. That was a really good game. And now, do we have any honorable mentions that maybe we want to mention that we didn't mention in this? Like any 3DS, Switch game?
I do not, no.
I have a couple. I want to mention Mario Party Star Rush, because that game is also for the 3DS. That's a great Mario Party. It has lots of modes, and it has a good amount of mini games, and it has a great board play. So that's a good game to get, Mario Party Star Rush for the 3DS. Is there anything else? I think that's it. I think it was the only one. Oh, and one more. Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes.
Oh.
That's a fun game.
I didn't play that one either.
That's a fun game. You can play that online with people. That is fun. Oh my god. That is crazy amounts of fun. Link has different outfits, and he has outfits that are traditionally female outfits also. So wow. Link is really stepping out the gender boundaries.
Shut up.
Link. Yes.
Stop.
And I also recommend Metroid Prime Federation Force. Game of the year.
Anyways, guys, how do you wrap these up?
Oh, before we go, also, sorry guys, but we just have so much stuff to give you this holiday season. Let's just mention some quick eShop games for the 3DS and the Wii U. I'm going to start with the Wii U. Metroid Fusion, Kirby Amazing Mirror, Wario Land 4, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Party 2. Those are some great games I recommend getting on the Wii U eShop if you have a Wii U. Super Metroid also is available on the 3DS if you have a new 3DS. So you can get that on the new 3DS eShop. And for the 3DS eShop, I recommend Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, Metroid 2 Return to Samus, which I did an episode about on Spider Chat, episode 4. You want to go look it up. Donkey Kong Land 1, 2, and 3, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, all the colors, Pokemon games, that's something you guys should get for sure. Oh my god, Pokemon, experience the classic Pokemon, and I think you can also import your Pokemon to the later Pokemon games if you have Pokemon Bank. I believe you can do that. So you can import your old Pokemon and put them in the new games. So you consider doing that. Kirby's Blow Up Blast, Dr. Mario Miracle Cure. That's it. I'm done. Those are all the eShop games I have. Do you want to mention an eShop game, Soul?
I'm gonna mention 2.
Okay, go ahead.
One of them it's called Snake Path, and it was one of the more interesting games. I personally like it just because of its design. It's a pretty fun game too. It is very low on story. Honestly, don't look for a story if you're gonna get the game like that. But it plays very much like its own sort of game. I can't really compare it to anything. So the best way to describe it is basically you work like a snake. You move as a snake through the environment. You can slither, you can coil, you can grab onto poles these little pegs. And these pegs you can climb as a snake with it. It works relatively simply, as is. Once you start the game, that there's not much progression of new things you can do. I think there's There's like the third world, you can learn how to swim. Like you can swim as a snake, which I don't think most snakes can actually do, but you can do that. Yes, it is World 3 now that I'm thinking about it. It also has like a lot of worlds. There's only like there's only like 4 levels per world. Man, it's been so long since I played it. I really should. I finished it, but I don't remember much about it. But it was good.
Is it for the Wii U or 3DS?
It's for the Switch, actually. Now thinking about it.
Switch. Okay, Switch eShop. Yeah. Yes.
But the next game I have is I was talking to Staryu about it, and it's called Thimbleweed Park, and this is almost the complete opposite of Snake Path in the form of this game is all story. It is a narrative game, and the problem with it is unfortunate problem I think most narrative games have, or they call them visual stories or whatever. Is the fact that this is very slow. It is extremely slow. I think I'm 3 hours in, and there's not much story to it. I stopped playing for a while because just Odyssey came out, and then I got busy because November and October are very busy months for me always. So I haven't gotten back into it, and the problem is I have no it's not impatience. I just get bored easily. So it's a lot of story, and there's not much to do except for like there's solving some puzzles, and there's like keeping track of things because it is also a mystery. Basically, there is the premise of the game. Since I haven't finished it, is a little hard for me to describe. But the game starts off with these 2 characters are detectives, and there's been a murder. And in this very, very, very small town known as Thimbleweed Park, that once was a really big town because of the circus that used to go on for it. And it also was started by this like inventor guy who I believe started it's also very strange in the sense like their claim to fame was a circus and a pillow factory, and this pillow factory was mysteriously burned down, and one of one of the guys who's investigating the murder is only there to investigate the pillow factory fire, and this seems to be like a theme of the game, something about this pillow factory fire. You can also switch between multiple characters. I can only switch between 2 right now, the 2 detectives. However, there are flashback episodes where you can play as 2 other characters, and I know there's another character after that you can play as that I haven't gotten to. I suppose I'm betting you can play as all of the characters eventually, like together, and switch between all 5, which means you could be in 5 places at once. And there is a puzzle, at least one that I've done so far, where you have to have the characters in 2 places at once. It's really great premise, just a really slow story. But if you have patience, it looks to be really fun. I wish I could get further into it.
Is that also for the Switch eShop?
Yes. I'm sorry. I thought these were Switch games.
Okay. Woo! All right. That is our holiday shopping guide for 2017. So I hope you guys take our holiday shopping guide to heart and maybe consider getting some of the games we have and put them on your Christmas list. Or, maybe you could show them if you're young. You can show them to your mom and your dad. Show this video to them, and maybe they can get a better idea of what in some of these games that you want, and we can help explain the games to them. So, that's just an idea. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully we helped your Christmas shopping out. And now it's time for the ending information. Mm-hmm. So I am SpiderStaryu on every website imaginable. I'm SpiderStaryu on YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Nintendo Network, Google+, and Instagram. All of it is SpiderStaryu. And Soul, unfortunately, doesn't have any social media anymore.
My phone broke.
I said Nintendo Network, like Wii U. That's gone now. Well, you can add me on. You can still add me. We can play games, but Miiverse is gone. So you don't have any place to contact Soul anymore.
My phone broke, so I was on like social media like starvation mode. So I haven't even if I wanted to, like I was kind of gone.
Maybe you guys can comment on the video, and Soul will see it. So if you want to talk to Soul, just comment on the video. He might see it, maybe.
Anyways,
okay, that is all there is, guys. Thank you, Soul, for joining me. Of course, nice to have you back on here. And that is it. All right, happy holidays, everyone. Good luck with your shopping, and we'll see you next time, okay? Goodbye.
Goodbye.